A coward dies 1,000 deaths. A soldier dies but once.
Welcome one and all, this is Blaezer RTW. Hope you are all good in the hood. You join me for a 4v4 31k battle, which is obviously 31,000 denarii for those who don't know. What it is, I'll go through a little bit of background. We'll run through the armies, and then as it's the sort of, it's building up, I'll go through what's going on. So this was actually, I was going to say filmed then, this was actually played right on the 1st of February this year, 2018, it being the first week of May 2018 when I'm doing it, when I'm doing this commentary. So it's a more recent one than the other ones I've been putting up, which were sort of I think I'm up to like last August 2017 with them, but it works out there's about 2-1 in favour of the 31k, so I'm going to start putting up the 31ks and then every now and again one of the other ones. So let's crack on. So my first teammate on our right flank is the Julii, who is Mayfield. I know he's around, I don't often play with him, or I think it's usually FFAs I play with him, I could be wrong. So I don't strictly know, he probably dabbles, as opposed to sort of favours one or the other, but we'll see. So he's got 6 cavalry and 14 urban, so that's the standard build, happy days. He's gone for a very sort of wide formation, you'll notice, rather than a sort of deeper one. The one thing I would say about that is that, yeah, it's okay, it's good, you're not going to get flanked. Also, I've noticed the way they look is that they're both symmetrical, which would make me think that he's going to split them into 2 separate armies, or that was his plan. But yeah, what it is that when they're only 2 deep, I find that if the opponent, who has got 6 cav, if they're engaged and he bangs his 6 cav in from behind, they will go through 2 lines of urbans. That's what I found anyway, but we'll see how he does. Then it's me, who's on the inside right flank. I've gone for 15 urbans and 5 Praetorian cavalry. It works out similar with the upgrades, because they cost about the same as gold urban and a cav. You'll notice what I've done now for this one, because I'm just going through experimenting with them. Normally, instead of having 4 like that, you would have 2 rows of 2 at 3 deep. But I think my theory is that when they're like this, I can easily stretch this one out to a 3 if I want to, and then attack the other side to leave it as a sort of defensive type mechanism. I've also got my 4 units of my general there, and then I've got these 3 here. These 2 can go out on the flanks or stay in if needed, they can run in. And also then I've got 2 on each flank that I can either tuck in, or I can take with a peeler shield already in front of them and go flanking with it. So we'll see how that does. Our inside left flank is Jack Frost, who again plays a bit of everything. I think he's got 2 archers at the front there, which he's using as a peeler shield. That looks to be 5 cav to me, and then what's that, 5, 10, 12 urban, so they've probably got some decent upgrades on them, a few of them. Just going to check out his formation. Yeah, so sort of he's gone for 2 lines, and then he's got his 2 at the back, which I guess he can use to sort of plug any holes or anything like that. And then on our far left flank is the Seleucids, who is Pesh Galdramesh, who actually was in a game that I put up 2 games ago from literally the other day, so it just goes to show he's still around. He's got 4 pikes, 4 legionaries, 4 cataphracts and 4 companion cav. So he's broken the rules. He should only have 6 cav. But it's only a laugh in it. So not going to pull him up on that necessarily. It might be the first game or something. So on our opponent's far right flank against the Seleucids, and our left flank is Lapjack. He's the House of Skippy. He's got 2 urbans up front and then 3 banks of 4, which is a sort of way the similar that the Romans would have actually done it. Although they would have been more of a checkerboard formation, I expect. But also what he's done is he's put his units right out so they're almost overlapping, if you see what I mean. There's no gap between them. There is horizontally, but vertically there's nothing between them. So that just means they take a charge better from the cav. And then he's got 6 cav there. Their inside right flank. So at the moment, facing up against Jack Frost and Julii is the Brutii, who has panoramics, who's a good 31k player and plays a bit of everything. I think he looks like he's gone for a standard 14-6 build, which would be gold urbans, 14 of them, gold cav, and then normally the experience stripes will go on the cav, the couple of extra ones that you get. Their inside left, the walking dude is also the Brutii. He looks like he's gone for a 14-6 build as well, with a couple of Pila shields and what looks to be a couple of units ready for flanking. And then on their far left flank against the Julii is Brotherhood Schemate, who I think is also April. He's got 3 Archer Auxilia, 6 Cav, and then 11 urbans. Some of them will have some really good upgrades on them. You can see, I think that back row's got at least 7 and a few of them. That's very similar to the builds I like to bring, especially when I'm on the other side. Exactly the situation he is, where the Seleucids are on the different side of the battle to him, and if he can flank, he'll be able to get in behind them and shoot them with the arrow, sort of thing. So shooting with the flaming arrows, so that's pretty good. So yeah, there we go. My keyboard never works press pause. Never works when I press pause, so we'll do it manually. Right, anyway, so I'll just let it tick through as we go. This is going to be the first 4v4 31k I've done. I'm expecting it to be pretty hectic, so you'll have to bear with me. I'll probably pause it, but I'll do the best I can. We'll just let the atmosphere sort of build up a little bit, if you see what I mean. It looks like 8ball's not going to let us do that. He's bringing his cav up straight away as the Julii on our right flank was trying to come inside to meet me. He's seen it and faced up, which is the thing to do. You don't want to get hit while they're moving inside with all your cav, because you'll lose, at least half a couple of units. I'm bringing my cav over. I'm still actually expecting him to carry on running now he's got some cav cover, but he doesn't, so I haven't turned my infantry back yet. So they've got 2 lots of infantry over here against him at the moment. I think he's going to try, is he? No. Really, if he's going to do anything, he should sort of scoot it over quickly to where my cav is, if you see what I mean, just to close the angle up a little bit. But he probably doesn't want to, because they will strike as soon as he moves, which is fair enough. So in this event, what should happen is that I should turn around and I should start coming up to this area here, you know what I mean, and facing off the Brutii at least, and some of the Skippy, and then he might actually be able to flank, because if his infantry attacks the cav will pull away. Up this end, it looks like the Julii Jack Frost is going to move up. The Seleucids is moving up. He's trying to flank as well. Normally the Seleucids, because their pikes would go into the middle, but he sort of fancies his chances. So yeah, so it looks like Lapjack's actually, they've swapped. So Panoramics is going to go against the Seleucids. Lapjack's come on the inside to face up against Jack Frost. We've got the walking dude who is going to obviously face up against me. I have actually turned back round now to give me a chance, and this is not great for us because we've split our armies up, and alright, there's 2 and 2, and it will probably take 2 and 2, but if one of us you know what I mean, there's no what's the word I'm looking for, like a safety net, you know what I mean? If you're all together like these guys are, you can see how their cav, the two inside armies cav is on the inside, so if anything went wrong, you know, if this guy on the inside left, if suddenly their right wing crumbled, it doesn't take him too long to scoot it out to here to be able to help. Whereas if we crumble over on the right flank, then Jack Frost cav is over here, and it's going to take him a lot longer to come all the way around here to where Matey Boy is. Normally, what you would find is that if you see how spaced out we are, there are so many gaps here. We are asking for it, basically. Which, you know, is fair enough. This is probably my first 4v4 because I bought a new computer before I went to Costa Rica for a month over Christmas, and this is me as I've come back and the first 4v4 I've ever done. So yeah, I have been playing 31k up to now, like 2v2s and 3v3s, but I haven't done a 4v4 yet. So this is the first one I've done anyway. But you can see that 8ball's moved his troops right up to rush the Julii, and then he's rushed his cav in right at the same time, which is a good move. The Julii's not done too badly with his cav, but I would have thought all these guys are going to be throwing their peeler in into this bunch of cav, so they're not going to last too long, and there's 2 lots of cav there. I should have helped him out really, but you can see what I've gone for instead. Is I've gone for the cheeky shot. What I should have done really is gone for the ones that are engaged, and I think I went for the middle one out of the 2, thinking if I went for one of them I might knock out half of 2 of them in that one, but it didn't actually do it. I did knock out that peeler unit in the end though, but at the cost of his cav, because it's been surrounded by the Brutii and the Scipii cav, and now that's been destroyed, and now basically the Julii's infantry is all engaged, they're surrounded. Yet you can see the Scipio's just pushing his infantry up just to put pressure on, and that's basically going to be our right wing crumbled. Sorry about that, Julii, I should have probably helped, but I was a bit, you know, I mean, I didn't actually want to split us with too much with them right there, because we would just get picked off, but we're going to get picked off anyway. In vain, what I'm going to do is bring those cav that I used to take the charge, come around the back and just see what I can do, but it's going to be too late because the Julii is going to rout any second now, which means they're not going to be facing anything, which means that they're going to take those cav out. But you know, it probably just sort of took their numbers down a little bit, which is fair enough. I'm surprised the Scipii hasn't taken his cav in again. Oh yeah, there he goes. And that's that. And you can see I've sort of thought, bugger. I've got to deal with 1.5 or 1 2/3 army now. So my initial plan was that I was going to throw it out there and just help out, but now I've realised that there's nothing left to help, so I'm going to stop them. I was going to try and beat a sort of steady retreat, but there's no time for that, so I've just set them up as they are with a sort of unit to slow them down. Hopefully these guys will start throwing some peeler in, but you can see he's throwing some infantry there. He's going to bring his cav around the side and flank me. Let's just have a look what's going on at the other end. So it looks like the other Scipii, Lackjack, is sending his cav out. Doesn't look like anyone's actually engaged yet. The Seleucid going to put his pikes up round the side, and his legionnaires. Yeah, I mean, really, if he was going to play like that, he should have bought just 2 or 3 of them in loose formation and then just all ran the cav up right away from the outside, while he put his pikes probably against the Scipii to hold him, or at least in the centre half of the 2 armies just to hold him and let the Julii watch his flank. So over here it looks like the couple of units that I left in there have been routed, or they're gonna rout. I'm pulling back 1 unit if I can. I want to just, you know, try and save him if I can. I've only got 2 units of cav left. The Brutii opposite me is just starting to move up. All their cav is now over here, apart from the Scipii, which is over with his depleted army. You can see the Scipii archers are in the middle there. Brutii's not wanting to get flanked, so he's actually pulled away. I think he fancies his chances against definitely the Seleucid infantry. Whether he'll be able to take out the cavalry, you know, the cataphracts and the Julii cav, I don't know, but he's got loads of backup there, so he should be able to. Blackjack's going to add done a good move there and just closed off the angle to the flank of the Brutii as he pushes up on me. Looks like the Skippy Eye's got his cav behind. I've pulled my cav out to the side just to see if I can get a cheeky little side shot in. Probably played into his hands a bit because he's come in and charged me now. I don't know whether I took any out, but I can at least retreat. I'm leaving him in there too long though. 31k. It's good to charge them in, but when you do, you want to get them in and then get them out again generally, and let because otherwise you get countercharged, which can literally route all your cav in one hit if you get countercharged, if you know what I mean. Whereas you'll probably only maximum maybe route 2 urbans if you leave it all in there long enough. The peeler shields, yeah, closed urbans behind, perhaps not. So you can see I'm trying to hold up this left flank again. I have actually got a little bit of cav, but not enough to go through the back and into the front of his urbans. I should have come around the side again, although he did have his cav there and he's resting it. You can see I've sort of set myself up in a half defensive L formation if I can. Looks like Jack Frost is going for the more flanking way of fighting, you know what I mean, rather than pushing all his units up and keeping them in a block like Blackjack is and just peeling them off as you go. He's actually split all his units up, which is not generally a good idea, but he has got a lot, he's not been worried about flanked, so it could work out quite well from there, because he might be able to pick off all these these Brutii that are facing up against me, and then the Skippy Eye, when they eventually get involved, he can actually double back on them. So you can see I'm throwing everything forward now. I've just got my general left. Unfortunately, I've got nothing to flank with, although I have just routed the last of his cav. So what I'm going to do now with these couple of urbans is try and bring them around the back of this general and try and rout off this general, free up these 2, and then I've got 3 units that I can enclose the end of this Brutii army with. Hopefully that unit doesn't look like it's going to hold out, to be fair, so I need to throw something in there, probably this guy. But let's see. So you can see the Julii is helping me on the left flank. What I'll do is I'll just pause that a second. It's near the end, as you can see. You can probably see what's going to happen, but we'll just try and have a look what happened over here. So yeah, the Brutii has got a lot of his infantry left. So it looks like he just threw everything in with the... you can see there's been an infantry fight here. There's been a bit of a cav fight there. And they're still going at it over here. The Cataphracts is all that the Seleucid has got left. His infantry's all gone, which is no surprise. Yeah, the Julii looks like he's got some cav moving in on his left flank. He's obviously decided he's not going to help over there because it's pretty much a lost cause. I don't think the Cataphracts, there's enough of them to help. There might be, but I don't know. But he's going to come and help his own general, which is fair enough. He's actually been tied down with some urbans, so that could be bad. Blackjack's sort of playing the game, as you should, as in he's still got a lot of his army in formation ready. If he wants to peel off one behind this Julii, he can peel one off from this flank. If he wants to go and bolster this line over here and take on these Julii, he can do. If he wants to swing one all the way out, if he wants to swing 2 of them up here, put them across the back of the Brutii, so if I do beat this general, it's 2 and 2, and then I haven't got any units to flank with, you can do. So that's good little game management there, I would call that. So yeah, so I think on reflection we can see what's going to happen now. The sign that you're having bad times is that when you engage your general, and I'm pretty much expected any second now my general's going to run in and get engaged, so there's always a bad sign if your general's actually fighting, as long as they're close to the battle. So yeah, there goes that Seleucid Cataphract general up there in the top right. So they've all gone now. You can see all of the Julii infantry apart from the general up on the left has gone. My general's running himself, so I've killed that Brutii Scipii general, which is good. Looks like Julii's general is about to get overrun. Julii's got a small bit of infantry here, 3 or 4 units and some cav. All my units are engaged, so I can't actually do anything. That general unit still hasn't routed yet. That's because, if you noticed, it had like 7 upgrades on it. It had that extra experience strike or 2, so it just goes to show my guys are starting to route in the middle, and that's basically the collapse. So yeah, I mean, on reflection, I would probably suggest that we split up. You know, what you should do is it should almost, you know, act like a seesaw. If you're going to push on one side, the other side needs to sort of pivot and come back a little bit and wind its neck in. Pushing on both sides of that, unless you're all very good players and you're fairly confident, is asking for trouble getting split up like that. And you'll notice that the battles, you know, there's one over here which is miles away from this one here, which is a fair distance away from this one here, which is a fair distance from this one away from here, and their units probably never moved out of my screen now, if you see what I mean. They were all in this sort of N here, so they could always cover each other, and you know, that's the key. But 4v4 31Ks are quite difficult. I still struggle with them tactically because it's quite hard to keep your eye, because they're so far away, so you literally sometimes have to go right, you know, push your map, you know, your viewing area right away all the way up the other end just to go and have a look. Whereas with 3v3s you can sort of spin the map and see roughly what's going on. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good game. I enjoyed it. Good game to everyone. We obviously got destroyed, so yeah, there you go. So didn't do too bad. 1066 Battle of Hastings and all that, so read into that what you will. Blackjack, you know, he sort of just sat back and, you know, would have plugged any holes, but he didn't really need to do anything. The other guys all attacked and took us to bits, so fair play to them all. Right, happy day. See you next times.